Okay. Who's got the first question down there? Push star 6 if you're muted. And ask your question.
Terry.
Hello. Go ahead.
Yeah, this procedure, is this for only have people have liens on their property?
Well, it's for those that have liens and those that are going to have liens.
One size fits all. Gotcha.
Question?
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Are we able to ask questions?
Yes. Go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you. And this may
You
be
bet.
a completely flaky question, but this is the first time I've ever been on a call. So,
Good.
I filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy to stop a wrongful writ for restitution eviction. They went ahead and did it anyway. But I want to know what jurisdiction, what I should know about jurisdiction in a bankruptcy court, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, that's kind of outside of my expertise. But if you filed it, then on a bankruptcy, they would have it on the bankruptcy. And see, you'll have to figure that one out. That's kind of outside of my expertise because bankruptcy is different. It's a what is that? Executive branch court. So it's a little bit different. And if there's somebody on here that has that expertise, let's help her out. But that's not my expertise.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Next.
All right, can you hear me?
Dwayne Williams, Angleton, Texas.
All right.
Hello, Kerry. Hello, everyone. How you?
I'm good. How are you? Good.
Doing okay.
Good. Go ahead.
I pulled up an application for withdrawal of file of notice of federal tax lien, Form 668Y.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know, I have a lien on property, what else they said? Property, paychecks, cars, whatever. They said they could put a lien on these particular items. I haven't seen the lien yet, but I'm still waiting on it.
Right. A lien is better than a levy. The lien, they just put it on there when you try to sell it. Normally, they'll take it. But
okay,
go online and get a 12277 form. That's a lien. That's a lien removal. And try. And
I did.
Okay. Afterwards, you can call me maybe tomorrow, and I can go over with it how we're filling it out.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you very much, Kerry.
No. Thank you, Dwayne, for being here. Thank you.
Next.
Bob from Boston.
How did one get in touch with you?
Through Ed. Who gave you the phone? How did you know to be on the call tonight? There's an email on that document that they sent to you, and you'll email it. Now, where we're having our problem is people will email us and say, have Kerry or have Ed call me, and then they don't give us their phone number. So if you want us to call you, we'll call you back, but we need to know your phone number. So if you email it, did you see the your invitation that you got to get on the call?
Yes.
If you look on that, there should be an email address. Is there?
I'm using my phone as a hotspot, so I can't.
That's okay. That's okay. It's on there, though. Anyway, it's on there. That's how you do it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
It's not a problem, and if you do it, please give us your phone number so we can, so we have a way to get back in touch with you. I
will do that. So does this Do you help us with knowledge concerning like fraudulent foreclosure and eviction and stuff like that as far as jurisdiction goes?
Maybe. If you might pick up enough to do that, maybe.
Okay.
But if you will, look up Title 31, Section 3124, and then look up Title 18, Section 8, and read that.
Okay,
and
can you put those?
Yes, 31 USC, 3124.
3124, no docs, right? And then Title 18 USC.
Section 8.
Okay. Thank you
And
so much.
See if that doesn't help you. No problem. Thank you.
Next.
Hey, Bob from Boston.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So today I finally got my certified copies from the tax court for the order of dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. It took me about 10 to 12 days to get it. I was a little nervous why they wouldn't send it, but what do we need to do next?
Get naked and run around your house and say, "Yee-haw."
They did that already.
Okay. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take.
I can't hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, you went blank.
Gary.
I think they're running around his house.
They might have cut him off. I don't know.
Yeah, we can't hear you, so when you come back on,
Gary.
you're going to have to come back on.
Maybe. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Sprint.
All right. I don't know what happened. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to get some copies of your court order. Okay.
Right, I got them.
Well, no, you got certified copies. You want?
Yeah. We're going to make a bunch of copies. Yeah, I understand that part.
Okay. Right. Okay. Then you also have a 5-page, roughly a 5-page, maybe a 6-page motion from the attorneys for the IRS saying, okay, you want to get half a dozen copies of those also.
Okay.
Gary, I'm sorry, but you're breaking up again.
I can't help that, then. I don't know what
I can hear you, but I'm sorry that you guys can't.
Yeah. Okay. Then
all right. So what we need to do is for the order of dismissal. Those are only 2 pages.
Yes.
We're going to get a bunch of copies for those.
Yes.
Multiple copies, okay. And then with the answer, what's funny is the answer is probably, I don't know what you said, but it's, I don't know if we just need what they wrote all the way up to the end when the attorney signs it. We don't need like everything else they sent us, like Exhibit A, the docket numbers.
No. Just
okay.
It's about 5 pages.
Right. I wish I had known that, and I wouldn't have had them sent everything else back to me. I could have saved a couple bucks.
Right. But that's what you want to get, okay? After you get your copies of that, get you a highlighter. You're going to highlight in there everything that's to your advantage. In other words, the IRS attorney said we didn't send you a notice of determination. So you're going to highlight that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to write a cover letter, and the cover letter is basically going to say, I want this lien and or levies released because attorney Billy, Bob, whatever his name is,
right.
and he's going to give you his chief.
Right, he's going to give you his number there. Yeah, the tax court bond number and all that stuff.
That's going to go right on there. And then you're going to say, he admitted they didn't have jurisdiction and my due process was violated. Also, the commissioner of the IRS also admitted they didn't have jurisdiction. And then you're going to say, see highlighted documents enclosed for your convenience. Release all liens and or levies immediately, or you'll be in contempt of court. And then send it to everybody. if you got a lien and there's 15 names on it, send it to all 15.
Okay.
There's only
Meaning,
6.
yeah. Right.
Okay,
so
whatever's
like,
on there. I didn't look at your thing. And then,
right.
then start right there and see what you and send it to the local IRS agent, even if they're not. You may have a lien out of Detroit signed by somebody in Memphis, so you're going to send one to Memphis.
How do you find out about any of that?
Go to your county. Go to your county and ask your
right.
county.
No, I know because it's on the property. It's in the registry of deeds. So whatever's in there is basically all the places that they sent it to. Or those are the people have the liens on everything.
That's correct, and that's
so basically this cover letter is going to be. It's just going to be a template, and you're going to send it to everybody, and you're going to send everybody the copies. So what?
Yep.
Is that all you do? I mean, do you send it registered, certified? Do you just send it first class?
I don't care.
Mail?
That's up to you. Whatever you feel is comfortable.
Well, if you give me money, I'll send it registered.
See, that's why I said I would send it for 50 cents. That's your call. See?
I know. No, I hear you. They're going to get it.
Right. But so what you do anyway, and then that's what you do. And then what we're doing is we're going to the county and we're trying to file that whole package, 8 or 10 pages, in the county. They don't always take it. So what we've had a lot of success doing is going to the property. That's where you file a marriage license. You'll tell the lady, where's property? It's on the 5th floor. Go up on the 5th floor and say, is this property? Yes. They'll take it. Now you've got a court stand
so basically, if you go into, the general area where, they do put the liens and stuff like that on, if they don't take it, you want to ask them where property is.
There you go. Yes, I got some stuff to file for property. They'll tell you. See, they'll take it in property. That's where you would file a marriage license, a dog license, a certified horse, or whatever it is. That's where you just go to property and file it. Now you've got a stamp on it, see? Now you've got a stamp where it's, okay. And then what I'm telling you is just do the best you can with it. Then send it to your state's attorney general. Hey, we got this here and I got this lien. They didn't have jurisdiction. It's certified. It's in the county. It's registered. It's blah, blah, blah. And then send your letter to the state's attorney general telling him you need his help. He was elected to make sure everybody's following the law, and obviously somebody's. See, we're on offense. So being on offense, it sounds different. That's all.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is we're just trying to give you an idea. What's going to do it? I don't know that because
what works for you may not work for me.
That's exactly right. And so
So what I'm thinking is, why can't I just go in? I'm just thinking out loud, but why can't I just go into the county recorder and say, hey, listen, I want to file all this stuff, and they're going to say, well, you can't do that. I'm like, why can't they? Because if you look up the records there, it's going to show that there's a lien on it, and I could say, hey, listen, I got an order for dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. You're going to take that stuff off.
You can do that, and you can do that.
So if they don't go along with it, that's when you say, well, I'm just going to take it up to property.
Yes.
Where's property?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
In other words, you're just going to do whatever it takes. I don't know what it takes because it's ridiculous.
Like I said, what works for you may not work for me, and vice versa.
Right, and that's what you do. So and who do you mail it to? Yes. You say whoever you think gets it, get him. Because remember, the commissioner, mail one to him. Hey, commissioner, you've already said this. Why in the heck hasn't this been removed?
No, I get that part. Yeah.
There you go.
But just to be clear, right? I mean, because I know that the order of dismissal for lack of jurisdiction, I got it certified. I know what they said, that the order was dismissed because it was granted for lack. This case was dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. But what I get hung up on, and I'm sure everyone else does, right, is on the last page of the answer, okay, where on mine it's number 11. It says it denies generally each and every allegation of the petition, not herein specifically admitted, qualified, or denied, and then it goes, wherefore it is prayed that the relief sought and the petition be denied. So I get hung up on that. Like, I'm thinking that they're denying me.
Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video. And don't forget to click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified when there's a new upload. Here's the front page of the channel. The bottom arrow is pointing at the subscribe button that's normally red until you click on it, and this one turns white after you subscribe. And the right one is the arrow. The top arrow is pointing to the bell. Now, the bell doesn't show up until after you click the subscribe button, and then the bell will show up. And that way you can be notified of new uploads.
No, they're not denying you. They can't deny you. You didn't write it. That's their. It doesn't really matter what they're denying.
Okay.
What did the judge say? What did the judge say?
What did the judge say?
Yeah.
The judge ordered that the respondent's motion for motion to dismiss with lack of jurisdiction is granted. In this case, is dismissed.
There you go.
Okay.
That
No, that's why I'm clarifying it, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who kind of gets hung up on that. Because that's what they want you to do. They want you to get hung up because listen, this I know I won this case, but it was filed. It was back in March of 2018. So I've been sitting on this thing, not knowing what to do, thinking that, hey, listen, it sounds like they beat me, But that's why I'm glad I'm just bringing it up so everyone else is a little clear on it.
They didn't beat you. Like I said, now it's up to you. Now that you have the tools, now you're going to go ahead and use the tools, and just go in there and write you a letter, do a cover letter, mail it out. And you know what? So, wonder if it might take 3 or 4 letters. So what?
It may take 34 letters. I don't care.
But see, now you've got tools to use. See, the reason it looks so funny is we're on offense. We're not on defense anymore.
Right. That's true. So, that's why it's tricky, because you think to yourself, no, this can't be true.
Right.
Because if you think about it, I mean, I have so many down at the county recorders from state and federal that they're saying this and that and the other thing, and we notice that a notice of lien is nothing. But what do we know?
Well, what they told us the other day was we have to do what the IRS says.
Right.
Now, this is what I did. Now, wait, this is what I did. Well, I believe you. I want you to do what they said. Give me a copy of what they said so I can get it fixed.
Right.
Now, if she says, well, we didn't get anything, I said, good, then here's a court order. Write her name down, because if she's saying she has to do what the IRS said and the IRS called them on the phone, I can't prove that.
Right.
So, in other words, this is offense. That's why they don't understand what we're doing.
Right.
Okay.
And then maybe remember a couple of weeks ago we had a conversation. You and I, we were talking about the state, where I was going back and forth with them and asking them questions, and basically they said, that there are exclusions. I forget. I'm just paraphrasing it, but they did say in the communications there are exceptions and exclusions, and we know what they are. It was a Title 26, 31, 20, 31, 24. Whatever. I'm just going on memory. I don't know what exactly it was. I have it somewhere, but basically. And then 321, and I think it was 31 U.S. 321 as well, and it lays it all out for you.
Right. See, so what I'm telling you is, what's the right thing to do? Yes. If you can think it, do it. Because see, we're on offense now. Do not, under any circumstance, say, you sons of bitches. Don't do that under any circumstance. Because, and you're not going to threaten them or harass them in any way.
No.
Right. No, but that's not just for you. You got other people that, they people's lost their homes and all that over this. We're going to show you how to get that back. So let's not blow a good thing.
Right.
Because you're angry. Don't let your anger hit the paper.
All right. So my final question, and I'll let somebody else talk, because I'm sure everyone else has questions.
Yeah.
But this is kind of pertinent because this is the final, thing after you get your order of dismissal for lack of jurisdiction back. Like, after we start sending the letters out, to who we need to send them out to, whoever's on our registry, deed, blah, 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 whatever. What do we do after we send it out? Are we waiting for a response, or do we do a follow-up?
Okay. Excuse me, Carrie, can you hear me on this phone?
I can hear you.
Okay, I would like to add some information to assist this gentleman with some of his questions.
All right.
So, in regards to what you're saying about how to follow with the IRS, since you got your order and your motion to dismiss from the chief counsel, that's fine. You do not want to worry about the answer that they put in, because that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. So
right, no,
don't worry.
I don't know
about
if I explain myself. Right. Okay. So what I'm saying is I'm going to make copies of this, and I'm going to put a cover letter together, and then I'm going to send it off.
Right. But let me finish what I'm saying, because my answer will address several of the questions you've been asking for the last few minutes. Okay. This is only in regards to following up with the IRS. Mm-hmm. By following up with the IRS, you are exhausting your administrative remedies. That's what you have to do. Mm-hmm. So if you send the IRS communication, then you send it to them. I would do certified mail, so then you have a record that you actually sent it to somebody. Okay.
Right.
If you have a lien, then I would send it to the lien unit, which is in Cincinnati, Ohio. You can look up the address on IRS.gov.
Yeah. Yep. That's easy to do.
There's a centralized lien unit in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's where you can send it. You could send it to them through the mail, or you could fax it to them, one or the other. If you decide to fax it to them, then just make sure the fax you're using has a confirmation, so then you know that they received it.
Exactly.
Okay?
Go to like a Staples or something.
Or anywhere where you know that there's a confirmation.
Okay. I get that. That's cheaper.
So, yes. So you follow up with the motion to dismiss, highlighted the way that Carrie said earlier. You follow up with certified copies of your order for dismissal. You follow up with any other documents. If you have copies of the liens, put that in there too, because then it allows them to reference the information better if you already send them exactly what you want them to get rid of. So you should have copies of your lien notices in there. And that's what you would do. You put all that shit together and you send it to the IRS. I would do the centralized lien unit in Cincinnati, Ohio, and then you have to wait. You have to wait, so you have to be patient, because you have to give the IRS time to either do what they want or do what you want or not. But again, you have to be patient, so you have to send it out.
No question about it.
You wait 30 days, and then you see what happens. And if you do it the right way, you will have to get a response one way or the other. The response may be it may be a rejection, but at least you'll have it on paper. And then from there, you could go on to follow up with something else. So, again, it's one thing to have the order in the motion, but now you have to do the other side. You have to notice the IRS. So now this is what you have to do, where you exhaust your administrative remedies.
Okay. And would that include, like, going down to the Registry of Deeds and getting certified copies of any type of notice of lien or anything like that? Would that be why?
Yes, I would get certified. I would get certified copies and send it to them if you have it, or you can get a regular copy. That's fine too.
Okay.
That way you have something to show them. Okay.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I'm sure I have some around, but I mean, it's only $1 a copy. It's not going to break the bank.
Right. Okay.
So
somebody else has a question. Let's go on to another question.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Thank you for being here.
Carrie?
Hey, Carrie. Next question.
Hello.
Yes, next question.
Hello.
Carrie, this is Carol up in Washington.
All right.
Haven't talked with you for a while, but I did send you and Ed an email way back on the 31st of July, I think when you were still up in Michigan.
Right.
And I was in hopes that one of you would respond, but I haven't received anything yet. It's dated the 31st of July.
Okay.
And it addressed the letter from the attorney. I've got an 8-page letter as opposed to your 5- or 6-page letter that you suggest most of them get. Right. Anyway, on page 5 of that dude, it says, item number 11 says, this is to quote, the technician concluded petitioner's IDRS, which stands for Integrated Data Retrieval System, records for the tax years 1994 through 2017 listed in the petition reflects no IDRS activity which would give petitioner the right to petition the tax court for relief. Therefore, I question, what the hell am I doing if you know, I've sent all kinds of stuff, including, you know, the order, you know, the copy, the certified copy order for lack of jurisdiction. I've sent it to a number of places, and they're just ignoring it, which includes OPM, which is Operation of Personnel Managers, where my annuity is paid out of. They just ignore it. They're continuing to steal from my account. And I'm wondering, now this is just the one item on that, in that 5 or 8 page letter that deals with questions that I'm trying to resolve. How the hell do I get around that fact that they say I don't even have the right to petition?
Well, that's because you don't have a right to petition, because they're going to tell you that because they violated their rules and regulations, and by doing that, they're trying to get your. That's the red herring. What they're trying to say. What they're trying to say to you stop bugging us because you don't have the right to petition. I would take what they said and go to the commissioner with it. Dear Commissioner, you said you didn't have jurisdiction. This knucklehead is saying I don't have the right to petition. Release this lien or you're in contempt of court. Go to the commissioner. That's above those guys. They work for the commissioner.
That's true.
Outthink them. Okay, see, always outthink them. I'm not telling you that's going to do it, but that's one more place to go. That's one more place to go. Go to the commissioner, putting the commissioner on notice that he's already said they didn't have it. So you need to release it or you're in violation of a court order. Therefore, you're in contempt of court. Now that's an argument you can win. See?
Yeah, they did say, you know, on the very first page, they did say everything in regard to this dismissal thing that let's see, how does it read? It says, motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction. Respondent moves that this case be dismissed for lack of jurisdiction upon the grounds that no statutory notice of deficiency as authorized by, you know, blah, 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 required, and no notice of determination, blah, blah, blah. They did say all that. But then they go ahead and they give me all that crap in the, you know, page
don't worry
6
about that.
and 7.
Don't worry about that. That's your red herring. Leave that off. Highlight that part you just read. Go straight to the commissioner. Telling the commissioner, see what you said? This is what you said. Release the liens. And then...
Right. I don't know that did it say release the lien?
You're going to tell them to release it.
Okay. Do I send them the whole damn letter or just the parts that are most applicable?
You do the 8 pages anyways, at least that much, and also send them the court order.
Well, I've got both of them, you know, highlighted or ready. If I figure out where the hell to send it.
Send it to the commissioner, Washington D.C.
All right. And let's see, on page 7, it also covers a whole bunch of garbage that.
That's okay. Highlight only what's pertinent to you. The rest of it's a red herring. Just ignore it.
Okay. I've got the first page highlighted and ready to go. It's just a matter of where the hell I was going to send it and what I was going to say in the body of the letter.
I would send it to the commissioner, reminding the commissioner, this is what you said, this is what you said, this is what your attorney said, this is what the IRS said. So release my lien. You don't have jurisdiction.
Okay. All right.
Good luck to you.
I'll need all the luck I can get. Thanks, Kerry. I'll call you if I need to, okay?
Please do. That'll be fine. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Next question.
Hi. Kerry?
Yes,
this is Patty from Montana.
Okay. How come you live? Why would you live in Montana?
Because it's cold.
Oh, okay. Well, it's cold in Alaska, too.
I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding with you. Okay, go ahead.
All right. About the if we could refer to the letter from the attorney, that's a motion. It's the attorney's motion to the yeah, and that's that went to the tax court, and the tax court denied their motion. That's where you get that, deny. They're denying the IRS attorney.
Yes.
Okay. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, with this this filing in the county, is that filing or recording?
Yes.
Which one?
I don't know. Some can try to file it. If they won't file it, then you record it. Record it, then file it. In other words, you're asking me a question. See, I don't know that side of it very well. That's not my expertise.
Oh.
So,
well,
if you can file it and record it, do both.
Well, I recorded it and then got certified copies,
that's
but it
okay.
was $87. So
right. See,
that's pretty expensive.
Yes, it
and
is.
they questioned it, and they looked at it, and I know they were reading it because another one came out from the clerk and recorder, and she said, "Why don't they have jurisdiction?" And I said, because they don't.
Right. What you tell them is, I'm not an attorney.
Call them.
Right. There you go. I'm not an attorney. Call them. That's right. See, you're on offense. The reason they don't understand what you're doing is they've been on offense all this time, and they don't recognize the offensive signals. So what we're doing is we're on offense, and we're pinching them now. And see, we're asking for things that they have to tell us. They're not telling us. So guess what? I don't care what it takes to release this stuff. We want it released, so let's get it released, whatever it takes.
Why can't we say to them, we'll teach you how to do it too?
Just a minute. I'm not finished, please.
Okay.
And if you're saying you're exhausting your administrative remedy, should you not file a fault and default? I think that should be in there.
Then that would be fine. If you need a fault,
if you give them 30 days, then when the time's up, you can send your fault and default. But I did that, so it's been 2 months, and I've heard nothing from the 3 attorneys, the commissioner, and the various tax courts, from all over, 3 different states, and the liens from Seattle.
Right, like I said, the problem is they're not obeying their own rules and regulations. So we may have to go back to a different court. I don't know. See, we're hammering them hard. I talked to one of the IRS agents. They called and was just pissed. He says, "I've had 45,000 of these this month." Now, I don't know if that's true or if he's just exaggerating. I don't know, but I know this: he wasn't happy because now they're having to work. And see, now they're starting to get doubt. See, they're putting liens on stuff they have no business putting liens on.
My blog is, our blog is texasrepublic.wordpress.com. Our website is thetexasrepublic.com. Our email address is oneyellowroseenterprises@gmail.com. Our YouTube profile is, this is the link, because YouTube doesn't allow us to have a customized URL until we have over a certain number of subscribers. And follow us on Twitter at Texas Republic for You and at We Are Texians.
Social Security says you can't take no more than 7%, yet they're taking 100%. So what they're doing is wrong. Okay? What we're doing is we're trying to bring that to their attention. So anyway, that's what we got going. So hopefully you figure out what you're doing, and if you find a way to do it.
And it's a little it's exciting when you get the order of lack of jurisdiction, but if there's no enforcement, it might take years, but by then I'll be under.
Well, that may be the case, but then, you know what? Start bringing in your state's attorney general, telling your state's attorney general, this is lawlessness. If you're not for the law, no problem. See? Now, I want to ask you a question. Let's say you owe $100,000 and you offer the judge $100,000 with a brick of cocaine. What would he say?
It's worthless.
No, a brick of cocaine is not worthless. It's worth.
Oh, I thought you said propane.
No, cocaine. What would he say?
Okay.
What would the judge say?
Oh, if I offered him?
Yeah, I'm going to pay you in a brick of cocaine. What would he say?
That's not legal.
Exactly. So let me ask you a question. What's the difference between an illegal alien and a brick of cocaine then? Wait a minute. What's the difference between a brick of cocaine and them being in contempt of court? See, all this problem is on them. Never talk about yourself because it's not about you. It's about them. They're breaking the law. Therefore, if a brick of cocaine can't be paid, you can't pay it with that because it's illegal, then they can't take your money because it's illegal. Illegal is illegal. See? And that's what we have to do. You have the tools. Let's just take it and start running at them. They can't cover everything.
Hey, Gary.
So I'm at the place where I would go to the, I've done the fault and default, and it's been 60 days. So I guess next I would try the Attorney General.
I would try everybody. Go to TIGA, Treasury Inspector General for the Tax Administration. Send it to them. Get them on the phone. Say, what's going on here? You're supposed to be there as our liaison. They're breaking the law. Does that not matter? Start putting pressure on everybody. Send it to the commissioner. Send it to the Treasury Inspector General of Tax Administration. Send it to them. See, send it to your local IRS agent. Send it to everybody, see, because you're now in the driver's seat. So you got the kicking shoe on your foot. Just start kicking. You'll know when you hit the right spot.
Hey, Gary.
Thank you very much.
You betcha. Thank you for calling. Thank you for being here. Yes, sir.
Hey, Gary, this is Eric. I have a story that I would like to tell, which happened the other day with me and the IRS practitioner line and a tax client on three-way. And this might help some people that have a situation where the IRS is levying 100% of their Social Security, okay? So I had a conversation on three-way with the tax client and the practitioner line of the IRS. So the purpose of the call was I was trying to talk the IRS into manually releasing this levy on this guy's Social Security because, according to Title 42, Section 407, Social Security benefits are exempt from levy and garnishment. So when I quoted that to this particular person on the phone, he was actually going to do the release because I was asking him at the minimum for him to do a partial release, at the maximum for him to release the whole thing. And part of what I was saying to him is that the IRS has put this tax client in a financial hardship by illegally levying his Social Security when under Title 42, Section 407, it says that Social Security payments are exempt from garnishment and from levy. So, that can be useful information if you're talking to somebody at the IRS. If they are garnishing 100% of your Social Security, you could use that as a means to persuade them to do a release. Now, they can either do a partial release or they can do a full release. A partial release is better than nothing. So, when you go in there and you talk to them, you try to ask for the full release, but then if they're going to say no, say, okay, look, meet me halfway. At least do a partial release because the IRS cannot put you in a financial hardship position just to collect the tax.
Right, and add that to all of your letters. When you're doing your cover letter, say, hey, I can't eat I'm in a position where I'm going to starve to death because the IRS has taken the whole thing. Add that to your letter. Send it in. See, everything that we do, we're now in offense. Don't worry about defending it. If you have a court order and that court order says that they don't have jurisdiction, then what does that mean? That means they have partial jurisdiction, like he said. Add that to your letter. Hey, I've got a financial hardship. I'm losing my home. I can't eat. My sick wife, my sick husband. I'm going to be sick. I mean, add that to your cover letter and maybe make it bold. Say, hey, I'm having a financial hardship because you do not have jurisdiction, yet you're doing it, and you're in contempt of court. It's not about you. Blame them for everything. Thank you for that story. Thank you. Okay, next.
Carrie, you mentioned Form 12277 earlier. Is that?
I did.
Yes. Is that useful in this letter writing campaign, or is that separate, or does that follow the letter writing campaign?
Yes, all the above. Just get it, fill it out.
Or if you do it the right way, that form is your cover letter.
Yes, and then there's a space on there. What are you asking us to do? I'm having a financial hardship because they're taking 100% of my Social Security. They can't take nothing. Release the lien. Use the 12277 form and fill it out, and then and there's a space in there. If you need more space, add a letter. That will be your cover letter, and add a few lines if you need it. If not, send it in. Who do you send it to? Yes, everybody. They have a pulse, you send it to them. See, what they're doing is illegal. If Al Capone pulls you over and you've got a back seat full of whiskey, what's he going to do? Well, he's going to drink it. He's going to kill you. He's going to bust it open. He's going to confiscate your car. He's going to burn you out. I don't know what he's going to do. So what we're going to do is all the above. You're going to see what we're going to do is we have Al Capone that's running this IRS stuff because they're saying stuff that doesn't exist and they don't make any sense, but they're doing it. So what we have to do, if anybody knows who Abbott Costello is, who's on first, that's what we're trying to do. Hey, who's on first? They don't have a clue who's on first, but they're sure putting us in a bind. Okay, does anybody else have a question?
Yeah, Kerry, this is Wade.
Oh, no, I don't care, but go ahead. I'm kidding. Thank you for being here.
I got this form, an example form, 12277.
Yeah, 12277. Okay. If you don't know how to fill it out, I will send over the one we used. I will send it over to Ed, and then he'll have we have one that's got John Doe on it. We'll send it to you if you need that. I'll have it to Ed in the morning.
That's kind of my question. I got a copy of the one that's partially filled out. My question was, do you only partially fill that out, or should you put the SSN number and the address, city?
Well, if you don't, they're not going to know who you are, because you can bet, especially if you have a name like Bob Smith, there's probably more than one of them.
Okay.
We want to take every excuse away from them that we can.
Okay, so that was my question. Just go ahead and fill it on out.
Absolutely. They know. Let me tell you something. They know who you are. A lot of people are against Social Security, and I had a conversation today with a guy, and we're saying things that it's not working. Okay, the old school's not working.
Yep.
And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you tools. Once you get it all back, then go in and do whatever you can do. But we've got to get our release. We got to get our checks back where we can start getting paid again. Man works for 40 years and then he can't even buy a ice cream cone. We got to stop it. We got to stop it.
Agreed.
So that's all. So I'm just telling you, whatever it seems to, if you fill it out proper, it works better.
All right.
Thank you for the question, and thank you for being on here. We appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, Kerry.
Next question.
Okay.
I just have a quick question. Have any liens been released recently?
Yes. Last week we had 3, and the week before we had 4.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. It's very good. It's very good.
Did they?
Like I
did
said,
they?
Go ahead.
Did they say anything, or did they just went ahead and released them?
They just went ahead and released them. They're not going to say a whole lot. They're not going to say a whole lot to us because here's the problem. If I ask you a question and you lie to me, I got you. But if you tell me the truth, I got you. So they're not going to say anything.
Okay. Thanks.
And let me just say this too. For those of you that are still saying this, it's not about you. I'm telling you it's not. And number 2, you not being a taxpayer and all that doesn't matter. They can't talk to nobody but taxpayers. So let's stop using the old way. And not that my way is the only way, but do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, we're having a lot of success than we have been in the past. And now that we have tools, we just got to figure out how to use the tools. And if I give you a screwdriver and everything's a screw, if I give you a hammer, everything's a nail. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you a screwdriver and a hammer. So that's what we're trying to do. Does anybody else have a question?
Next question.
Question.
Yeah.
Terry.
Is this? Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Just real quick. Is this is their basically their attack mechanism? They're going to go with a lien on your property, or they're going to garnish your Social Security. That's pretty much it. Okay. That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Before you go, can I ask you a question? Okay. Next question.
Gary?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Kerry, I have a question in reference to the order that I received from the judge. He gave me the usual verbiage that you said, lack of jurisdiction relief, except for as supplemented by lawyer year 2012, a letter of determination was issued. So what basically I have from 2000 to 2017, everything's good except for 2012. 2012 is still, and that's the year they're deducting the money.
Right. See, isn't that amazing? Well, the only thing you can do is what I would do is I would write a cover letter and say, why would you only give it to me for 1 year? I want to see it. Now, what they're going to say, now you've got something you can challenge. They're saying they gave it to you. I didn't get it. If I didn't get it and you sent it, show it to me.
Well, they did. They showed me proof of a letter. They did. They did show. They did show me proof of a letter, but it was not signed, and it was
all right.
not.
There you go. There you go. See, there's your argument. Then now you've got a basis. Now you go back and say, wait a minute. Did you see? Don't tell them anything. Don't say, well, you didn't sign it right. It's not made out right. You ask them, is this a valid notice of lien? Let them tell you yes. Now you can take that person to court for perjury. Why? It ain't valid, buddy. It ain't valid.
Now you said for the lien, I was speaking of a letter of determination.
Okay, that's fine.
But I do
have a letter of lien. Valid determination.
Okay. So in the lien, since I have a letter of lien,
whatever they said they gave you, is it valid? Let them tell you yes. And what I would say is in there is a doctrine of silence. If you don't have to answer me, but if you don't, what you gave me was not valid. See? Now you got something. Go to the commissioner. Hey, commissioner, here's what you said. This knucklehead over here, and right. that works for you? There's a lot of noise in the background. Would you shut the water off, please? Okay, someone's making a lot of noise. Thank you. Okay, then go to the commissioner and say, hey, commissioner, look what you did. You said this, and this. They came back and said they gave me a valid notice of deficiency. That's not valid. So now we got a problem. You're a liar or he's a liar. Which one? See, these are offensive moves. It doesn't matter what they say. They're lying. So if a liar lies, is it a lie? Well, of course it's a lie. See? So what you're trying to do is get them to tell you that it's a valid notice of determination. It's not valid. If it was, they'd give you a determination. That's why it's a notice. See? I'm going to give you a notice of check. The check, is it valid? I don't know. I didn't get one. Why? Because it's a notice. A notice isn't valid of anything. That's why they're doing it this way. So they can say, I gave him a notice of lien. It doesn't matter if he got a notice of lien. A notice of lien isn't valid. See? I gave him a notice of determination. Well, you can't have a notice of determination. You got to have a determination. See? That's why it's invalid. If it was valid, it would be a determination. We're going to determine that you owe us money. Now you can question it. The reason they're doing it as a notice because it's not valid. That's what we're doing here. We're telling them we didn't receive it. We didn't get it. They're saying we got it. If we got it, let me see it. See, that's why they won't show it to you. Does that answer your question?
It did, Gary. Thank you.
You betcha. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being on the call. Thank you.
Kerry, are you using this 12277 form independent of anything else?
Yes and no. I use it by itself if I can. If that doesn't work, I combine it with everything else. You're asking me. All right, let me ask you a question. How many tires does your automobile have?
4 rolling and 1 in the trunk.
See, that's not what I asked you. See what you did? I asked you how many does yours have. You said 4 rolling and 1 in the trunk. The last time I went to school, that's 5. See, that's what you're asking me. See? In other words, If you need 4 rolling, let's do it. If you got 1 in the trunk, let's do it. If you need 5, let's do it. In other words, I hope I answered your question. We're using it once you get it, and you start sending it out. If the liens are released, it doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? Well, then what are we going to do? Well, let's combine it with something else. Whatever we have to do. I don't have any set. I don't know because I'm not giving you guys any legal advice because I don't know.
I understand. I'm not asking for legal advice. What I'm saying is I haven't received anything back yet on any of the letters I've written. I'm just wondering if anyone's had success using this independent of anything else.
Yes, we have. We had 4 last week and 3 this week. We've had 7. So to answer your question, yes. And we use them both ways. So hopefully I answered your question. Thank you for calling.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Thanks.
you for being here. No problem. Thank you. Okay, does anybody else have any questions, or is that it?
Do we have any more questions?
Okay. Let me leave you then with one quick thing.
Hello.
Oh no. Yes.
Yes. Excuse me. I just wanted to know, since this is my first time on the call, if there are past calls that I can listen to kind of catch up with what you're doing, because I can see already just by what I've been hearing how I can use this to ask them if the writ for restitution, is it valid? I know it's not.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. If I send you a check for $10,000, no strings attached, would that help your financial situation today?
Yes.
Okay, I'll send it tomorrow. Now, it will be a valid check from a valid checking account, but I will not sign the check. Now, you said yes. No, you see? That's what they're doing to us.
Yes.
See? It's not, my check would be invalid. No, it's not. It's a valid check. That's a fact. It's a valid check. But it's an invalid check because, see, in other words, we have to understand what they're saying. We need to understand what they're saying. See, words mean things. And because of that, that is a valid notice of lien. Okay? How do you have a notice and it be valid? That doesn't make sense.
No, a notice is a notice is a notice.
There
is a
you
notice.
go. See? So we gave you a notice. We gave you a valid notice of lien. I bet you did. But how did you get a notice as valid? See where I'm coming from? So all I'm trying to do is, because the way I think, I don't think like no one else. I think kind of skewed. My thinking is skewed. So what I'm trying to do is show you ways to use what they're doing to help us give you a better answer for them. See where I'm coming from? Now, ma'am, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Okay. No, I don't mind.
All right. What size of shoe do you wear?
7.5.
I'm sorry, what?
What size shoe is a 7.5?
Okay. Can you put your foot in an 8?
Yes.
Okay, then so why can't you wear an 8? Can you put your foot in a 9?
Yes, but I thought you asked me what size shoe do I wear.
That's right. I asked you what size of shoe you wear. Guess what? I wear a 10, 11, or a 12. A 13 feels so good, I buy a 14. I can wear all of them. See? What I'm trying to tell you is, you thought I said, therefore I got the answer that I wanted, and I put you in a corner. Now you're going to have to explain your way out. Now let me ask you this. Have you stopped kicking your neighbor's dog?
Say that again.
Have you stopped kicking your neighbor's dog?
Have I stopped taking my neighbor's dog?
Kicking.
Yes.
Kicking.
Oh, kicking.
Yes.
Have I stopped kicking my neighbor's dog?
Yes. Have you?
Yes, because I never kicked it.
See, you said yes. That's all the jury heard. So since you stopped kicking it, why were you kicking it to start with? See? That's what they're doing to us. See? You can't answer a negative. So we answer them with a negative. What we're trying to do is give them back. If I got a notice of lien, was it valid? It sure was. Then show it to me. Because number one, a notice. How in the world is a notice valid? I'm going to give you a notice of check. Would the notice of check be valid?
A notice would be a notice, would be a notice.
That's what I'm saying. So we have to question what they say. Let's listen to them. See, let's listen to what they're saying so we understand what they're saying so that when we talk to them, we make sense. Unfortunately, sometimes I don't think like you think, so I'm scared a little bit on my thinking. But I put them in a complete bind. They don't really like talking to me very well. See? Does that make any sense at all?
That they don't like talking to you?
No, that we have to listen to what they're saying and build our defense on what they're saying.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And to answer your question, get a hold of Mr. Ed. He's got his email is on there, and I'm sure there's some place you can go to and listen to some other. I don't know if there is or not, but if there is, he'll know where they're at.
What time zone is he in, so I don't call it a wrong time?
We're in Central.
Oh, okay, that's where I am right now. Okay.
Right. What state are you in?
Thank you. Missouri, in Kansas City.
Okay. Isn't that the show me?
Kerry?
Yeah.
We got about 25 conference calls that you can listen to.
There you go. So if you get with Ed, he'll tell you where they're at. Thank you, Ed, for that. I appreciate you telling that. Thank you. All right. Let's ask, does anybody else have any questions?
I would just like to ask if you've had anybody do anything in Washington State. That's where my home is, that they've done the project foreclosure on.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Or yes, we have.
Okay.
You're not the only person living in Washington that has a problem with these with the Antichrist.
Right, I know that.
Okay.
Thank you.
You betcha. Thank you. Is there any other questions? Okay.
I can think of one other one also, because I have a dear friend whose son's been in prison fraudulently for 15 years. And they've done a number of things. Is there anything that you're saying that you can just kind of broadly give a word of encouragement?
What is he going?
That's not in my field.
What is he going to prison for?
They called it vehicular homicide. It was an accident.
Okay. Chances are the court he went to did not have jurisdiction, but he had an attorney. And so he probably won his case, and they explained it to him. They didn't. So he would have to go back and look at what court he went in and if they had jurisdiction or not.
I think they've been through the gamut on that. They got him to make a plea. He was frightened to death.
There it is. Right. But here's my question to you. Did he have an attorney?
I don't think he did.
Okay. If he didn't have an attorney, he can't go to prison. And if he did have an attorney, that's all he will do is go to prison. So.
I think his mother's on the phone, so she.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's outside of my wheelhouse, but the jurisdictional part, I can kind of give you some ideas and questions on that. We got several of those that we're working with that are outside the taxing, but it's jurisdiction. Everything has to be jurisdictional. Everything is jurisdiction. Yes, everything is. And if you find anything wrong with the jurisdiction, you can challenge it at any time.
What if the judge overrides that and just ignores you on things on that? What then?
You go to the appellate court.
They did too. Get screwed again.
Go to the appellate court.
Didn't work either.
People are getting screwed in the appellate.
How many times? Okay, how many times can you appeal?
I don't know. It costs money.
I understand that, but then see, that's not what you asked me. That's what this is all about. Everything is about the money.
Well, actually, I can go and form a pauperous because all I have is Social Security.
You can go as a former pauperous. You can do that, but every court has a limited jurisdiction. Every single court. If they take you into the wrong court. Let me use an example, okay? In Texas, we have an alcohol beverage code. Now, what the alcohol beverage code does is it tells you how much taxes you pay, who pays it, when they pay it, and it's on beer, wine, and spirits.
Check out our other videos and playlists. Republic of Texas RT documentary. Texas and other American states is under a military occupation. The Republic of Texas Forum of 2016. And describe the kind of people who would thrive in independent Texas. And so check them out.
Now, my question is, if I'm driving down the road and I'm drunk, where does the drunk driving have to, how would I know that I'm drunk driving? Where would it be defined at, do you think? in the alcohol beverage code, wouldn't it? It has to do with everything else alcohol beverage, but it's not. It's defined in the state of Texas. So the question is, does the state of Texas code overdo the alcohol beverage code? Now, the second question would be, is this an alcohol beverage code court, or is it a traffic court? And if it is a traffic court, how does the traffic court and the alcohol beverage tie together to give that court jurisdiction? Does that make sense? See, this is just stuff that I ask all the time. See, when I go to court, it's like a zoo. See, when I'm there, the judge says, he walks in and they say, all rise. I didn't stand up. So the bailiff comes and grabs me by the arm and lifts me up. I said, okay, thank you. Well, we came back after recess, and he says, all rise. So I stood up and turned my back to the judge. Why? I don't know. He didn't say face him. But see, we rise because of the Bible. Well, they don't bring the Bible anymore. See? So what am I rising to? They won't tell me. So if they don't tell me, then I'm putting my back to them. That's just what I do. I'm not telling you to do that. See? But I challenge jurisdiction on every single thing. It doesn't matter. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's interesting to me that you said that you can make that appeal at any time, but yet their rules say 30 days.
I understand what the rules say, but see, then the crime that he committed, what rule did he break?
Or like in
the I didn't
foreclosure
say that.
thing. I was just bringing in another case.
I understand. Okay, they violated the law. This is a court of law. It's not a court of rules. I don't care what the rules say. Do the rules overtake your rights? See? That's just what I do. See, I go down there and I'm going to file an appeal. They're going to say, well, Rule 41 says you can't appeal. Oh, then what rule did I break? I didn't break a rule. You said I broke the law. What law says I can't appeal? Now they got a problem. See? I don't think like no one else. I'm sorry, but that's, I just, that's what I do. I just go and that's what I do. I try my best to give people the outside of the box. Now, I want to ask you a question. Are you married, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. You're not going to believe this. I went to a garage sale, and while I was there, I found your marriage license. I bought your marriage license. I paid $300 for it. Now, who are you married to?
I don't have a marriage license.
Well, then you're not married.
We chose not to get one.
It's all right. All right. Well, I went to the state and I went to the county and I took out a marriage license on you and your husband. I own your marriage license. Who are you married to?
I'm married to my husband.
That's exactly right. It don't matter what I've got. See? In other words, just because I got your marriage license through some kind of a deal, that don't make you married to me. See? That's what they're doing to us. They're saying stupid stuff, and we're saying, okay, I guess. You can't.
No, they're saying stupid stuff, and I know they're saying stupid stuff, and they keep saying more stupid stuff.
That's right. So my question to you is, why can't you appeal? See, you have unalienable rights. Are they lenient? Yes. Then they broke the law. I don't care what rules they say. My constitutional right says they're unalienable. If they lien them, they broke the law, period. Well, under Rule 71, I can lien them. Okay, but then now we got a conflict. Is the law right or is the rules right? See? Now somebody's going to have to make a decision, and that's what I'm going for. I'm going to the appellate court. I'm going to the appellate court because they said they liened my unlienable using Rule so-and-so. How did they do that? Then I sit down and shut up and watch the fun. Then I watch the fun begin. That's just the way I'm doing it. I'm not telling you I'm doing it to do what to do. I'm not giving legal advice in any way, shape, or form. See, I think outside the box. What I'm trying to do is give you a different way to think. They told you, and they're the ones that put you in jail. I don't listen.
What about all this thing about the commerce courts then? And they're not being really anything of law. And
here's my question, all right? Let's go to The Hague, the World Court, and get a judgment. Now they won't listen to it. I want you to go get a Hague judgment sheriff. Where are you going to get one? They don't have.
I don't know. In Hague, I guess.
Well, they don't have any. Okay, go to the common law court and get a judgment. Now they don't honor it. Go to the common law sheriff and take him with you. They don't have any. See, what I'm doing is I'm using their court, their setup, and I'm challenging the one thing they never have. I want you to think about this. There's two jurisdictions. They got two jurisdictions in RIM, which is subject matter, and in personam, which is personal jurisdiction. Which one's the most important for you to have, for them to have to arrest you? Which one's the most important?
In personam?
No.
Okay.
Which one?
Both of them.
No. You got to have both.
Oh.
See? So if you don't have both, so now I want you to, you're married. So who's the most important, you or him?
I'm taking a note here.
Yeah, I'm just what I'm saying to you is they don't have jurisdiction. Why can't they get jurisdiction on you? Because you have unalienable rights. They'll never get it. Why? They have unalienable rights. So if they can never get jurisdiction on you under any circumstance, how do you give the court jurisdiction? Do you know?
That's by making an appearance is all I know.
Nope, you can't. Okay, now listen to what I'm saying. You want to get a divorce, so your husband goes to the United States District Court, and the judge and the United States District Judge gives your husband the car, both houses, both cars, the children, and the dog, and you got to pay him $1,000 a month, and he signs the decree. Tell me what your husband got.
Just the things you said.
Nothing. He got nothing because the federal district court has no jurisdiction over divorce. Now, I want you to think about it. So he goes down there and makes a plea. Now what does he got? Nothing. Why? The court still has no jurisdiction. You go down there and make a plea. What does he got? Nothing. Why? The court has no jurisdiction. See, it doesn't matter. If you're in court and they don't have jurisdiction and you get on your hands and knees and you beg to give it to them, if they don't have it, they don't have it. They got to have both.
Then why would I do an appeal in their court then if they don't have any jurisdiction because I have inalienable rights?
Because they already liened you. So you're going to appeal that to an appellate court and say they didn't have jurisdiction. They'll overturn it and give you everything back.
Okay. I need for that to sink into my mind, I have to look at it, read it, and consider it. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I sure do. I understand. Now, just think about this for a minute. I want to ask you a question. How tall are you?
5'2".
Okay. Now ask me the same thing.
How tall are you?
122 centimeters. See, I never told you foot and inches. You made the assumption that's what I asked for. So I'm going to make up something. I'm 927 Klingons. See, when you give me the opportunity, what do you think? Man, I think you're fat and ugly. Hey, what does that got to do with the case? I don't know. You asked me, what do I think? So I told you. See? Now, I asked you how tall you were. You said 5'2". I never said to you, how tall are you in foot and inches? You just assumed it. I don't assume anything. That's what I'm telling you. When I'm in court, it's an absolute zoo. Because when they ask me a question, I only answer what they ask me. See? They ask me, what size of shoe you wear? Oh, I wear a 10, 11, or a 12. A 13 feels so good, I buy 14 sometimes. I can get my foot in any one of those sizes. So what's the definition of wear? I can put it on. See, I can wear a pair of pants that are 60 in diameter. I may have to put a rope around them and a pair of suspenders, but I can wear them. See, they're not defining wear, so I define it for them. See, if I can get in it, I can wear it. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
See, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you a different point of view to look at it. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, when I was indicted, the first thing they said was, do you know why you're here? I said, I do, because I'm handsome. I don't know. See? He says, well, no, that's not why you're here. Oh, then why am I here? Why would the judge ask me why I'm here? Why are you here? Why would he ask me that? See, it doesn't matter what I say. It ain't going to change nothing. See? So this is how it's going all day. So what happened was the attorney said, I'm going to ask you 4 questions. I want you to answer them, yes or no. I said, okay. So she said, what is your name? I said, yes or no. What? Yes or no. See, she told me to answer it that way, so I answered it that way. See, now the whole court, the judge says, what are you doing? I said, yes or no. See, she said for me to answer it, yes or no. I did just that. I said yes or no. Isn't that what she said? Well, that's not what I meant. Oh, then why would you say it? Wouldn't that be perjury? So now we had a 20-minute discussion on perjury. See, I don't know what they're saying. All I know is she asked me a question in court. I answered it exactly the way she said it. Now she's complaining the way I answered it because what she asked wasn't what she meant. Well, what is that? That's stupid stuff. See? Do you see where I'm coming from?
I do. You know, I have a question on this going to the appellate court.
Yes.
That is a near monumental job with all their rigmarole that they put you through to just be there.
Well,
to just be heard.
Okay. Now, see,
so unless you know a simpler way to do it other than the way they require.
Okay. Are you an attorney?
No.
Then we have a right to the court. Write a brief. Make it short. Say, this is my appeal. I didn't pee on the sidewalk. They said I did. Turn it in. Now, they're going to come back and say, well, we can't take that. We can't take your appeal because it's not written right. I'm going to appeal that. Why? I don't have to write an appeal any certain way. We have a right to the courts. See? I push them at every turn. Well, we didn't say pee on the sidewalk. We said urinate. I don't care what they said. See? I'm going to appeal. Why? Because pee means to me the same thing as it does. See? In other words, I'm not gonna argue with them about their rules and regulations. I'm going to argue with them about the law. I have unalienable rights. They leaned them. Well, Rule 61 says it. Then tell the judge to sign Rule 61, and that's why I'm here. I will appeal it. When I'm in the appellate court, I'm going to say, I'm here because they said they leaned and unalienable because Rule so-and-so, and I can't find it. You know what the appellate court's going to say? Well, yeah, that don't make any sense. So they're going to overturn it. Why? Because you can't lien alienable. Or you see? I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, it does. You can't lien something that's not alienable. That's not lienable.
There it is. Okay, there it is. See? And what is a tax lien? It's a lien. Oh, how can you lien an unalienable? You're leaning that's why when we go in there and say, I never received a notice of deficiency and I never received a notice of determination, what are they going to do? Say, we gave it to you? Well, let me see it. They showed you. Well, that's not valid. So if that's not valid, then how is the lien valid? You gave me an unvalid lien, a notice of deficiency, and you gave me an invalid notice of lien, yet you took my money. Now we got a problem. See? That's just the way I look at it. I'm just going to act stupid to them. See?
Yeah, if somebody's in prison and they're being treated like they don't have any rights. And they still have their inalienable rights because there's no such thing as true criminals. So they say, yeah, okay.
See?
Give me a few more hours and I'll do it.
That's fine. See, now it's not about you. See, it's not about you. It's not about the person in prison. It's about the government has to do the right thing every time. If they get off skewer, then guess what? See, the law of gravity, if you jump off of a roof and I jump off of the roof, the same thing's going to happen. We're going to hit the ground with a thud. Why? That's the law. See, the law has to be administered exactly the same for everybody. If it's not, you appeal it. Why? Then you can make them relook at it. That's just my opinion, okay? That's just my opinion.
Okay, Kerry, we're about to have to shut this one down.
Hello? We can do that. Yes.
Is there still time to ask another question?
Yeah, we'll let you have one more time. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Kerry. This is Bernice. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm great.
Yeah, good. Listen, as I'm listening to you talk about jurisdiction and unalienable rights, et cetera, it occurs to me that if they don't have jurisdiction and you can't give it to them, et cetera, and they never had it, then why do we even need the order from the judge?
Because the county has liened your property. If you sell your house, they're going to take it. So we don't need it. They need it. See, and so the reason we got it this way is so we can go in and have it overturned. See, that's the rules that they're using. Unfortunately, they're wrong, but that's why we're doing it that way. I hope that made sense.
And if you don't get the order from the judge, you couldn't just go into the court and and claim lack of jurisdiction, prove the IRS jurisdiction. I mean, I'm just trying to think about if you don't get the.
Right. Then they're going to come. The problem is the IRS won't show up, and then the judge is going to dismiss it because the IRS can't be there because they don't have jurisdiction. Therefore, there's no, you can't just rule. Just like I told you, if your husband divorces you in federal district court, he has nothing. Why? That court has no jurisdiction. So how does he give it to him? He can't. He's got to go to family state court. That's the law. See, and that's what they're doing to us. We're going to the wrong court for the wrong issue. We don't know any better. We get scared, so we hire an attorney. He does all this fancy paperwork. Guess what happens? You go and do the time, they get paid. See, they get paid, they monetize you because you went to jail. When you go to jail, they monetize it. It's not a matter of what you did right or wrong. It's how much money you're worth going to jail. That's why they put us in jail. So what we have to do is, all right, so we have to bring that to the forefront. How do we do that? You have jurisdiction? Sure do. Let me see it. I don't have to show you. No problem. I object. I sit down and tell them to throw the book at me. Hey, go ahead. Why are you doing that? I was the Boston Strangler. I killed all those women in 1836. Throw everything at me because when I appeal it for jurisdiction and they don't have it and it's overturned, everything is overturned. I'm not going to argue the fact that I was driving down that street at the wrong time of the night. I'm going to challenge jurisdiction. If they didn't have it, that's the only thing I'm going to hang my hat on because that is a home run. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
See, it's not more difficult. Do you know how to spell? Let me ask you a question. Do you know how to spell more?
More?
Yeah.
Do I know how to spell it? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, spell it for me.
Which more are you talking about? There are several kinds.
Any more you want to spell?
M-O-R-E?
Nope. L-E-S-S. Less is more. So the less you say, the more it means.
Okay.
If you write a brief and it's 500 pages, that's more. You know what they're going to do with it? They're going to throw it away. I write a 3-page brief. Guess what? They got to look at it because it's short. So less is more. I think outside the box. That's all. See, I'm trying to show you a way to look at this stuff that they can't see. Why? Because we're on offense. They don't understand offense. They only understand defense. So what we're doing is we're swinging at them on offense. They don't know how to duck, which way to duck. They don't know, because this is totally different. And they're getting us these unbelievable rulings. We had a ruling the other day where the judge says, you're guilty. I said, for what? He said, because Rule 59E is not always 59E. I believe you. Then when it's not 59E, what is it? Object. Just dismissed. See? In other words, now I've got an appeal. So how in the world are they going to rule against me in the appellate court when the judge said 59E is not always 59E?
Yeah, exactly.
See? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make them defend the negative. In other words, have you stopped kicking your neighbor's dog?
Uh-huh.
See? Then they've got to defend the negative. I don't care. See? I just have a weird way of looking at it, and I have a weird way to bring them the questions. So what's happening is, what we're doing is, with the jurisdictional issue, if they didn't have jurisdiction, how could they tell you to file a tax return? Let me ask you a question, ma'am. Are you a taxpayer?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I have a 2358C letter, and it says, Dear taxpayer, we agree with you. You are not legally required to file a tax return. Would you like one of those letters?
Yes.
You can't get it. So you cannot get one. Tell me why.
Because you're not a taxpayer.
See? You're not a taxpayer. The IRS can't hear you. They can't talk to you. Why? They don't speak your language. Why? You're not a taxpayer. See? It's not about you. Why does it matter if you're a taxpayer? Well, I'm a taxpayer. I'm whatever they say. I don't care.
Oh,
see?
Okay.
And the reason is, I asked you, are you a taxpayer? You said no. This call is about taxes, so I can't talk to you anymore. See?
Okay.
In other words, if the judge is talking to you in Mandarin, what are you going to say? You're just going to stand there with a dumb look on your face. Why? Because you don't understand anything he's saying. You're not a taxpayer. No matter what you tell them, whether you're right or you're wrong, they're going to say, well, she ain't a taxpayer anyway. I don't know what she's saying. Take 100% of her money. You know what? Take 100% of her husband's too, because we don't understand what non-taxpayers are talking about. See? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
See? That's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to change. We're trying to do a paradigm shift. We're trying to give you a different way of thinking about it. See?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that made any sense for you or not.
No, it did.
See?
Yeah.
By the way, are you married?
I've heard this before, but no.
Okay. So you're not married. So you don't have a job?
What does having a job to do?
Because
being married?
Because you could be married to the job. So I've got to keep asking questions now to find out whether or not you're married. Do you have see? You didn't tell me. Well, what's married? See?
Yeah,
there you go. See? Now I'm telling you you're married. Why? Well, do you like golf? You're married to golf? Well, see? You thought I meant man and wife, or man and man, or woman and woman. I didn't say any of that. You drew the conclusion what I was talking about, putting you in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'm saying. What I'm trying to get you to do is think outside the box, so that when they ask you a question, you can answer it. But then they don't know. Then you're basically saying, "Have you stopped kicking your neighbor's dog?" Now they've got to answer that. See?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You really have to be on your feet when you're facing these guys.
I know that. That's why. That's why.
And lots of practice.
Right, but if you get to where you have to face them, let me know, and I'll throw stuff at you. I'll put things together. I'll hammer you hard and get you ready for it. I'll get you ready for it. It's no problem.
Sounds like a deal.
I know if you right. Okay, I'm going to tell you one more quick thing. What happened was I had an IRS agent show up at my house. It was a woman, and I asked her, I said, "Do you have a gun in your purse?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Leave it in the car." She said, well, I can't. I said, I'm going to tell you one more time, leave it in the car. She said, I can't. I said, well, come on in and have a seat. I went back to the back of the house and got my assault rifle, and I laid it on the table. She said, well, what is that? I said, well, you brought in, the government has admitted that guns kill people. You're bringing a known killer into my house. I said, that's an arm, and it's trained. What happens is if your gun goes off and tries to kill somebody, it will hone in and destroy it. That's not a gun. That's an arm, and it's a trained arm. And she just stood there and looked at me. I said, so do you want to leave your known killer in the house, or do you want to take it to the car? She says, I don't want to be here at all. She got up and left. Oh, wait a minute. I asked her, do you have a gun? She said, yes. Our government says guns kill people. So she brought in a known killer. She knew it kills, yet she brought it into my house. See?
Yeah, interesting.
That's just, see, my thinking is skewered.
Gutsy.
Okay, Gary, we're going to have to lock it down.
All right, then, I'm ready.
Thank you.
Our next call.
Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you. Thank you for being
here. Our next call will be September the 11th.
And that's 911.
We thank all of you for coming on.